What's up guys, Jared Beckstrand here, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Tone and Tighten, and in this video I want to share with you some of my favorite exercises to help straighten out your lower back posture and strengthen and train your core. Now, this is actually part 2 of a 2-part series. Part 1 are some kind of beginner, intermediate exercises to introduce stretching and the right core strengthening exercises. If you're interested in checking that out, I've got it linked in the description below. I'll also link it at the end of this video. If you have been doing those exercises and are strong enough for the next progression, you're in the right place. Or if you've already got a decent amount of core strength and want some higher level postural strengthening exercises, this video is exactly for you. Now, before we get too far into it, let's quickly explain what this lower back posture is. Basically what happens is you've got a hip flexor that gets tight. As that hip flexor is tight, it pulls on your lower back, rounds your lower back forward, your hip flexor and your lower back muscles get tight, your lower abs and your glutes get weak and can't pull yourself out of that posture, and that's what results in this anterior pelvic tilt. It's a condition that in the physical therapy world we refer to as the lower cross syndrome. In order to get out of it, we simply need to stretch where it's tight and strengthen where it's weak. I'm going to show you how to do that. I hope this helps you out. I hope you find these advanced exercises beneficial as you continue along this journey. Of course, if it does help you out, hit the thumbs up button down below. Also, leave me a comment down below. Let me know your experience. Let me know if you tried the phase 1 video. Let me know if you're here for phase 2. Let me know how you guys like this video. That being said, let's jump right into these exercises. First one, come your way now. The first thing we need to address is the root cause of this common condition, that is tightness in that hip flexor muscle. If we can stretch our way out of that, it's going to allow you to be put into the right position to then strengthen in that right position. So this is a tall kneeling hip flexor stretch. What we're going to do is get down into this position, one knee down on the ground, one foot down on the ground, and then what I want you to do is push your hips forward. So right now my left knee is on the ground, my right foot is on the ground. I'm shifting my weight forward onto that right foot until I get a good stretch right here through the front of my hip. Now, I don't want you to fold forward, so stay up in a good posture so that your pelvis stays in the right spot. And then the other thing that you can do is actually contract your glutes. So if I contract my left glute, you're gonna feel more of a stretch in that front left hip. And again, that's the muscle that we're after, is that left hip flexor. You're going to spend 20 seconds right here. You're going to repeat that 3 times on each side. The other area that gets tight is right through your lower back. We're going to do the prayer stretch to eliminate the tightness there. We're down on all fours and then just sit down onto your heels. What I want you to do is try to round your back out as much as I can. And so again, the problem is our back is pushed forward this way. We want it to come back this way. We want it to round that other direction. So from right here, sit down on my heels, let my chest and kind of my chin fall down into the floor, and then hold that when you feel a good, comfortable stretch through the lower back. You're gonna hold that for 20 seconds and you're gonna repeat that 3 times. Let's get to these more advanced strengthening exercises. The core muscles that get weak with this lower back posture problem are the lower abs and the glutes. Strengthening these areas is going to cause that posterior rotation in your pelvis to straighten things out. Here are some exercises to help you do that. Now, this lower ab exercises, we're going to start with the posterior pelvic tilt. So I don't want your hips forward, I want your hips to come backwards. So rock your hips back and flatten your back down into the mat or into the floor or whatever it is that you're on. Now we're actually going to do a double straight leg raise. And so I want you to, and again, this is a little more advanced, keep your back flat down into the floor as both legs come out in front of you, and then we're going to lift those up off of the ground and then right back down. It requires a lot of strength. As I'm down in this position, it wants to pull my pelvis forward. It wants to pull my back up off of the mat. You're going to engage those lower abs and that deepest core layer to keep your back nice and flat down towards the mat. It looks just like this. A good number to shoot for is about 10 repetitions. Now, as that gets easy, there's still a lot of hip flexor activation with that. What we can do is actually progress that with a hip lift as well. The only way your hips are going to come up off the ground is if those lower abs pull them off the ground. And so how that looks is we're right here. As I come up, I want to clear my hips and then come right back down. So full speed, we're going to come down and up, Don't let your back arch, don't let your back round off of the floor as we're coming at it with these double straight leg raises. Back's nice and flat, stomach's nice and tight, looks just like that. And again, about 10 repetitions is a great number to shoot for with that one. Let's get up, let's work on some glutes. One of my favorite glute exercises that you can do at home would be a single leg deadlift. Now you can do this one with or without weights. I'll demonstrate without weights first. What we're going to do, I'm going to work my left side, the one that's closest to you guys. I'm going to stand on my left side with really good posture. I'm going to start to raise my right leg back behind me. As that happens, I hinge forward at my hip. You'll see that I'm not leaning forward at my lower back. Rather, my lower back stays straight as that right leg comes up behind me into this position. We're introducing a lot of hip flexion right here at the left hip, and then it's that glute that's gonna pull us out of that. So you're gonna fire your glute to raise back up into this neutral, normal position again. So it looks just like this. Fire the glute to come back up to neutral, come back up to that starting position. So it looks just like that. We're hinging forward and then coming right back down. Really trying to emphasize squeezing that glute. If we grab a couple of dumbbells, the mechanics still look the same. Standing on that one leg, down nice and slow. Use the glute to fire to come right back up. I'm hinging at my hips as I'm pulling up and down out of those single leg deadlifts. What I want you to do is 10 repetitions on the left, 10 repetitions on the right. We'll repeat that 3 times. Finally, this last exercise is probably my personal favorite at helping to correct this problem. This is going to be a variation on a lunge where we're actually getting a really good hip flexor stretch as well. So we're stretching a hip flexor while we're working glutes, kind of a double bonus, a 2 bang for your buck with this exercise here at the end. What we're going to do is come into a lunge. Now normally, so I'm going to take a big step forward with my right and then drop down. And normally what would happen is I would bend this trailing leg to come into a lunge. But what I want you to do is actually keep that trailing leg straight. So keep your left knee locked out. Maybe it's a little bit bigger step as you come into a lunge. And what you'll feel at the bottom is, again, that stretch right here through the front of the hip flexor, but then we're gonna fire those right glutes to come right up out of that. So we're right here, stretch, and then fire to come out of it. So that's 1, and then we're gonna go right here, 2, right here. So feel the stretch in your glutes. 3, looks just like that. I repeat that 10 times on the left and on the right. If you feel like you could do even more, feel free to grab a pair of dumbbells to do this one as well. Mechanics are still the same. Big step, knee straight, drop down into that lunge, good stretch through the hip flexor, and then fire the right glute to come up out of it. 3 sets of 10 on both sides is what you're going to shoot for. I hope that helps out. If you find this beneficial, hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me your comment down below. If you're interested in checking out that phase 1 video, click right here. That will really help you out. If you are interested in correcting your upper back and neck posture, super common with bad lower back posture, click on this video right here to see that one. And until next time, we'll see you again here on Tone and Tighten.